Hi, my name is Gerhard Schwander and welcome to Selling Power TV. Today we have the pleasure of speaking with Chris Cabrera. He's the founder and CEO of Xactly. Welcome, Chris.
Thanks for having me. It's always great to be here.
Let's talk about big data. The audience here at the Sales 2.0 conference has talked a lot about big data. What is your view? Why is it important?
Compensation systems by their very nature are data dependent and data driven. And so we have established a huge data set of information or data across our installed base, many different industries, varying the size of companies. And what we have found is the biggest questions our customers have is, how should we be doing things? What are the best practices? Tell us benchmarks. And so big data in our case means, hey, take these terabytes and terabytes of data that we have, anonymize it, get rid of anything that would, identify a certain company, but because people aren't caring about that, what they're caring about is general themes. What are the trends that are happening, and then do correlations between, if the best companies are paying this way, what are the best? Those become best practices, and so that's why big data is becoming such a big deal for our company, and it's driven, ironically enough, because of us being a cloud company. Only because we're a cloud company and we have a single source of all this data can we begin to use it and mine it to find these interesting facts, and then feed that back to our customers to tell them how to better incentivize people. When you look at it from a larger picture, many companies I talk to are paying the way they paid 20 years ago. They haven't changed their comp plan in 20 years, or they've tweaked it, or they've done certain things without really any knowledge as to what's the best practice or what's really going to work. Even when they go talk to a lot of the comp consultants that are out there, and we're big fans of the comp consultancies, but what those folks can rely on is effectively their experience and the academic data that's out there. That's really all that's available to them.
Right.
There's no place on the planet where you can go find the empirical data that says, companies are actually performing this way and paying this way, and that becomes the benchmark of truth.
But don't you have a huge database now because you're compensating for, you do the calculations for so many different companies? What, about 500 now?
Almost 600, yeah.
600.
Yeah.
So you have the aggregate collective intelligence of 600 companies. Can you look into that and do a drill down?
That's my point. That's the data. So it's thousands and thousands of comp plans. It's terabytes and terabytes of data. It's, we're calculating over almost 4 billion transactions a year, and we're paying over $6 billion in cash payments. We don't actually make the payments, but we send that to the payroll files of our customers. $6 billion. So that's a lot of data. And as I said, it doesn't exist anywhere in the world. And you can't buy that anywhere.
Yeah. What are some of the data points that you're learning from that?
Well, there's literally thousands of elements of data that are valuable. And so to give you, just a sense, one of the things that has been talked about for years is how many measures on a plan, how many components should be paid on a given plan. And we see customers that have 10 different things that a component is just something you're trying to drive in a plan.
Right.
So, discount less, sell more of this, sell blue ones of these, sell them on Fridays, whatever the things are that drive your business. And we've always been saying the optimal number is 3. But it's difficult because we haven't had the data to really back it up. We've only had the academics and the comp people in the space saying that. Now we have data. We have data that says, guess what? People who have 1 component on the plan do well. 2 is better than 1. 3 is better than 2. But at 4 and 5 and beyond 5, it drops off a cliff. You can literally correlate.
So that it's no longer a motivator.
The performance drops. It actually becomes a demotivator.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the sense of motivation as much as confusion.
Right.
You're asking the reps to juggle too many balls, and they start dropping them, and so they can't do it. But now, like I say, for the first time, there's data to back it up. That's never happened before. That's just one simple example.
Right. But what about the behavior? You want to create and encourage behaviors. Do you have data? What kind of behaviors are more likely to lead to performance than others?
Absolutely. I mean, those are the things that we can correlate. We can say, what are the best performing companies? What are the kinds of things? So first of all, they don't have 10 measures, they only have 3.
Right.
Okay, great. Well, what are the 3? And so we can get into what those top things are. And they're not, this isn't rocket science in a lot of ways. So sometimes it's as simple as just picking the right measures. Like, I'm going to focus them on pure bookings or pure revenue. But things like holds and release, right? A very common term in the comp space. You're gonna earn a commission, but I'm gonna hold it until that customer pays, and then I might pay you, right? People think that's really important. Well,
Right.
guess what? The data suggests it's not. The data suggests that that does not improve performance. So why have it in there? Get
Right.
rid of it and use things that do drive performance, like pay variable
Right.
mix.
Did you find a correlation between the number of payouts, how many people milk that cow
Yes.
versus?
Well, it's a great point. You know, you would be amazed, I certainly was, how many people in an organization get paid on a single order. Most companies I'll walk into, I'll say, how many people do you think get paid on every order? And they'll throw out all kinds of numbers. Invariably, they're off by almost an order of magnitude. We look at all that data. We even have an outlier company that's paying 160 people on a given order. That's outrageous. That's not a best practice. A lot of companies in the 30, average 30 range. Best practice is five or less.
Thank you, Chris. We're going to continue our conversation with Chris Cabrera tomorrow, where we talk about aligning your compensation plan with your business objectives.